So my first, obviously, top two, I think universally right now in the college football world, everyone probably has the same top two, and that's Bama and Georgia, right?
Hands down. It should be. It should be.
Yeah. So Bama and Georgia. Now, if we were to see how this plays out or talk how we think it plays out, I would put Georgia at 4 because I think they will lose to Bama in the SEC championship.
Right.
But for right now, I'm going to go Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon. So
Okay.
that's my, to use March Madness
four.
terminology, bracketology. That's my first 4. Like, that's my those are my top 1 seeds basically on the bracket. My next 2 in as of right now today. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Arkansas Razorbacks,
Mm-hmm.
who I believe, yes, that's a bias, but I believe have earned that,
Yeah.
beating 2 top 15 teams in the last 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
including the big one over number 7 ranked A&M yesterday, which we're going to get to in a second. And then my next team, it really kind of pains me to say this, and I don't know that they've earned it yet, but I think they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's Ole Miss.
Ooh, I did not see that one coming.
I think Ole Miss right now today beats the brakes off Iowa, beats the brakes off Notre Dame, and some of these other teams that are ranked ahead of them. I think Ole Miss is going to be a problem this year in the SEC. And this is coming from a fan who, even when Arkansas is horrible, I can look at the schedule and go, well, we got Ole Miss. We're probably still going to beat them. Because even in this
Right.
stretch of years where we've been really bad, we've been really good against Ole Miss.
Exactly.
Just the glimpses I've watched of them play this year. And look,
Very
they
nice.
haven't really gotten to – they hadn't played anybody yet, if we really want to call it what it is. I do think
Right.
Louisville's a lot better than what people are giving them respect for. So I would say that's a quality win. But that defense, if they can just not be horrible, they're going to be a problem this year. Now, Bama may very well beat the brakes off of them next week when they have their big matchup. But
game,
right now,
man.
today, I've got Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Oregon as my playoff teams. And then Arkansas and Ole Miss is my next 2 in.
I like that. So we're practically almost the same besides one team. So obviously my top 4, and guys, we didn't even collude on this. We didn't even talk about it. So we had no clue. But my first 4 definitely is going to be Bama, UGA. I think they are great. Oregon, as long as they went out. Penn State, if they went out. And after watching the Big Ten yesterday, I think some teams got some reality checks. I think some teams figured out some stuff they got to go on, and I have to be unbiased and say Penn State probably looks like the most complete team, and they're running on a high right now. They've won some pretty big games early. Then my next 2 in will be Arkansas, man. Like you said, man, 2 big wins. I had that game on my, so, there's the big screen TV, then there's my MacBook, then there's my iPad. So they were on my MacBook screen. They were on the MacBook screen yesterday, man, and they played a good game, man. They played a good game, got out early on A&M, and it was one of the bold things we kind of predicted. We'll talk about that later. And my next pick, you're not going to like it. I don't even like it. I was on the fence about it, and I was just thinking about the whole CFP in its entirety, the SEC bias sometimes. And I was like, man, if this was a real challenge for them yesterday, I mean, it might be that I haven't looked the rest of the schedule. I would need to look. But it'd be Notre Dame. We just got to be honest, man.
Okay.
It's a team. And here's what I'll say, and we're going to actually talk about them later. But I think, we said it on previous episodes, man. If they win out and they claw their way to some victories, the national brand, the money grab alone is always going to have them in the conversation because they're independent. They kind of get to schedule their schedule how they schedule it, and it kind of works out for them. And, I mean, they're still undefeated. They've won 2 pretty big games early in the year. You can't take, at the end of the day, however they won. A W is a dub. And they did what they were supposed to do. Now we can sit here and debate about how it looked. Was it sloppy? Was it clean? You can. But I'm also never.
It doesn't matter with Notre Dame. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They just have to win.
They just have to win. And looking around, I mean, they have a potential top 5 pick on defense and Kyle Williams. They got some playmakers, man. And I'm going to tap a little bit on this later, but with their quarterback situation, I think they can still. I think their offense is going to look a little bit better in the upcoming weeks. But that would be my top 6 right now if I just had to
Okay. So we're pretty much even, except for I've got Ole Miss as my next one. You've got Notre Dame as your next one.
Absolutely.
Your 6 team in. Okay.